paralysis by analysis. That's what you get from the other guys, but not here, not now, and not ever. This is the Baseball Insider Show, presented by BCWSA. A look deep inside the game from a former player's perspective. The Baseball Insider Show, presented by BCWSA, is brought to you by BCWSA, The Pines Tavern, Penn Community Bank. We now go live for the Baseball Insider Show, presented by BCWSA. Now, here are your hosts, Phillies Director of Fun and Games, John Brazer, and former pitcher from the 93 National League champion Phillies, Tommy Greene.
All right, welcome to the Baseball Insider Show, presented by BCWSA, live from the CP Rank Club at Citizens Bank Park. Let me introduce myself. I'm John Brazer.
Who are you?
I've been here in 3 weeks, and I'm back in North America.
I don't know who you are. Yeah. I'm dealing with other people. I miss my boy Brazer.
You had Jolly, and you had Tom Burgoyne. How did they do over there?
Oh, everybody, we had a blast, man.
Yeah?
It was good. It was
okay.
good. It was good to have you back, though. I got to hear all about your exploits.
Well, I
know you got a lot going on.
We have a lot to talk about, a lot. We're going to talk about our trip, I should say, to London, right? And then I took a little extra time, went out to Cornwall, and did some other stops. So we'll talk about that. Yesterday was an unbelievable day for me. As I mentioned just briefly before we got on the air, Tommy, late in my life, like I am, I'd like to say I'm middle-aged.
You've come over to the other side.
Well, I'm turning 59 tomorrow. So.
I get to whoop up on you today a little bit early, huh?
It took me almost 59 years.
Oh, yeah, I see you tomorrow, so I get to whoop up on you tomorrow, too.
I'll see you at the golf tournament tomorrow. But it took me almost 59 years to come on the countryside.
Yeah.
And I know we've gone down to D.C.
Yep.
And we listen to your country channel. And then we listen to heavy metal.
Yeah.
Right? Hair metal.
And we listen to other stuff.
And so now I'm going to be asking you to play a little more country because I went to Tim McGraw 2 nights ago.
Yeah.
A absolutely fantastic concert.
Oh, he's awesome.
And, I might have lost my wife because Jill was looking at Tim McGraw's guns the whole time.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
And thankfully I didn't take her to yesterday's game because I was hanging out with Riley Greene.
You saw some cannons yesterday.
And yes. If Tim McGraw has guns, then Riley Greene has cannons. I mean, he makes you almost look small.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that guy was –
he's a big boy.
He's jacked.
Yeah,
and
he's put together.
Yeah, so I become a big Morgan Wallen fan, Riley Greene, so it's I'm coming on that side.
Hey, country music, it's got a – I mean, it's I go through bouts. I mean, because I come from North Carolina country. I grew up with it. But I also grew up, like you mentioned, the hair bands in the 80s and 90s.
Scorpion and Dokken. And
all that stuff, man.
Right.
But I love the Allman Brothers and all those, the Southern rock,
me too.
And all that. So I'm a guy, I got appreciation for all. And the piece de resistance about that is I used to hang out with Harry a little bit.
I like your French, by the way.
Yeah.
It's good.
Harry Callis a little bit, and the piano bars.
Yeah.
And, and
Harry probably liked the old school
like
country, right?
Oh, yeah. But, I mean, his choice to jazz a little bit.
Right.
I got the appreciation for that with him a little bit. We talk about and you got to have a glass of wine or so while you're listening to that. That makes it brings you in. But the appreciation for country come from my dad, and to me, it's family. It reminds me of that.
Sure. All right. Well, let me tell you. We'll get right into that so Riley Greene performed post-game concert yesterday, right? He's from Alabama. Found out he's an Auburn fan, which I think I told you my brother-in-law played running back at Alabama. So, but he showed up, and he wanted to take BP at about 12:30. So
impressive,
I meet him down the field, and I'm telling you, man, he's just jacked.
Yeah,
so
he's got big shoulder, big back. Tall. He's a tall guy too,
big
right?
Guy, yep. And he played quarterback at Jacksonville State.
He's a gamer, man.
I talked to his merch guy. He said he's hits the ball 300 yards. He's just whatever he does athletically, he's just
gifted guy.
Has the Midas touch. So I got him a Reese Hoskins bat, right? Phil Sheridan gave me a Reese Hoskins bat. Got the extra large batting gloves. He goes out there. Bryce came out to check him out.
Yeah.
I guess Bryce is a fan.
Yeah.
Well, then I'm telling you, like all the coaches, we had Bobby Dickerson, our infield coach, was throwing to him. Paco was out there, our first base coach. And I'm telling you, to a man, especially Bryce, when he hit the first home run, everyone's like, "Oh my God!" Like he had a really nice swing.
Yeah.
And with
made
power.
That sound. It made that sound.
And he hit literally 11 bombs, like 11 or so bombs. I mean, he was legit. And people started coming out going, man, it's the most. Like we've had celebrities for 31 years take BP. We've had A.J. Brown, who's 20th round draft pick of the Padres.
Yeah.
We've had, now we've had some other guys, actors and politicians, this and that. Before yesterday, Miles Teller was the best baseball player, celebrity.
You never tell me about that.
Yeah, he was in the cage with Jake Arrieta. I watched the hitting contest between he and Jake, and he was literally getting around very easily on a 95 mile per hour off the machine.
Wow.
And I'm telling you, Riley Greene blew everyone away. So he is the number one.
That's good, man.
And also my daughter got a chance to go on the field.
Like that. Yep.
My daughter Charlotte's got to go on the field, got a picture with him, all excited.
Oh, you're done.
So a happy dad is a happy man. So
hey, well, sounds like to me you got a happy wife too.
A happy wife too. Well, I don't know how she's happy being married to me, but also we have some news. So Christopher Sanchez yesterday we announced we extended him for a 4-year deal, which is awesome, right? Carries him through our arbitration. But that's
possible
good.
2 options, right?
Yeah, because he's some of that. If you remember, he was a guy we got in a trade. It was a very low-key trade with Tampa.
Yeah. Great arm.
Great arm, but didn't have the control.
He threw hard, and when Rob said, he said, I saw him when he was younger. He said he was throwing like 98, 99.
Right.
But it was all over the planet.
Yep.
But now it's totally different.
And he made his starting debut last year, and we tried different options, but none of the options really worked. Remember, Strom was in the starting rotation. Yeah. We rolled out a couple other guys. It just didn't work out. So then I remember, I think it was June against the A's. He got his first start last year, 2023, and he hasn't looked back.
No.
I mean, he was one of our better pitchers. Obviously, he's one of the reasons why Walker didn't even pitch in the playoffs because of Sanchez.
Yeah. And the old adage about this is when you get the opportunity, you stick your foot in the door and don't let it shut.
Right.
That's the epitome of it right there. He did that. He
took
advantage of that situation and just kept riding the wave.
Yep.
And then he kept that foot in that door, didn't let it shut.
And he keeps the ball low. He is his changeup is outstanding.
Change of space.
Outstanding.
And his command obviously got a lot better.
Yep.
And just with command and change of speeds. And plus, I mean, from last year, he's ticked up with that sinker. He was averaging 92.5 or something like that. Now he's averaging 94.5.
Right. Yeah.
You'll see him at 95, 96.
I mean, I tell you what, when he's pitching, I feel about as good as you can. You know what I mean? I mean, you feel obviously great when Wheeler's on the mound, Noel's on the mound, Suarez on the mound. Sanchez right up there. I feel just as good saying we're going to win this game with Sanchez on the mound.
It gives you a great opportunity, with what he's shown the last year, consistency. It give you a chance to win, every time he goes out, it seems like.
So we brought up Michael Mercado, who's on the lineup today, or is in the roster today, because Taijuan Walker went on the IR with, his whole
really?
Key. His whole key.
I didn't know that.
Yep, his whole key is obviously a splitter. And for a splitter, you need the one finger where he has a blister. So it's retro back to his last start.
Yeah.
But he's going to go on the 10-day IR, and then I'm not sure. I guess
blisters are nasty.
My guess is Mercado becomes the kind of long man, and then Spencer Turnbull, who's stretched out, would be take a spot temporarily in the rotation.
That's what I would think.
Unless it's Mercado. Mercado's gone both. He's started. And he's also been in the bullpen.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
I think. You got to put, you got to put him back in the rotation.
Turnbull.
Yeah. You got to put Turnbull back in the rotation. I think. Yeah. I mean, first of all, he's earned it.
He has.
And he's pitched well. The other night he pitched real well. We pitched 3 innings, didn't give up anything really, and he needs to get out there. And that type of and lengthen out. I think that's why. It's so great to have a guy that can do that. I think the bullpen helps him. I mean, I think he learned. He had a little bit of issue.
Adjustment, right?
But I think he learned what it takes, the mentality it takes, and learned a little bit about his body. Because I know that what happened with me when I did it. Now, I didn't pitch in the pen until I was in the big league. So it was it's a different beast.
It is.
Mentality and physical. because you learn how to take care of yourself and prepare yourself to pitch that every day.
Every day.
You know, so.
All right, you can actually listen to the show on 1490 WBCB and 107.3 FM, your station in Bucks, Burlington, Mercer County. You can also watch it live at WBCBsports.com or search WBCB Sports on YouTube. Also consider a career at Septa, Tommy. Septa is hiring a variety of skilled trade positions, including mechanics, electricians, plumbers, masons, painters, carpenters, welders, millwrights, and more. As a Septa employee, you will earn competitive compensation and great benefits, including medical, dental, prescription, and a pension. Visit jobs.septa.org to apply today. That's jobs.septa.org. Also, Tommy, we lost one of the all-time greats this week, Willie Mays. Willie Mays, arguably the greatest living, at the time, the greatest living player, maybe the greatest living or greatest player ever. When you look at his stats, he made 24 All-Star teams. 24.
Yeah.
I mean, 1954 to 1973. He's a World Series champion in 54, two-time NL MVP. He was a Rookie of the Year in 51, a 12-time Gold Glove Award winner, Roberto Clemente Award, NL batting champ, four-time National League home run leader, four-time National League stolen base leader. He hit 4 home runs in one game. He's got his number retired for 2 different teams. He's on the San Francisco Giants Wall of Fame, baseball's all-century team, and baseball's all-time team. I mean, the guy
pretty much
talk about did it all.
He hadn't done this.
And if you remember like that, everyone can remember the catch he made in the World Series. Not just the catch, but then to fire the ball back.
That was one of the awesomest catches. And there's only one other. That was in the World Series, though.
Right, World Series, yep.
See, that's what made it one of the greatest catches.
Sure,
to me.
over the shoulder.
I saw one by a more modern-day guy that was more impressive.
Right.
I don't know if you remember Jim Evans.
Jim Evans, I was going to say, yeah.
That ball it was basically the same ball right over his head, but Edmonds was parallel to the ground.
Yep.
Diving, and caught it. That was the most impressive. I mean, see him do that was unbelievable.
Well, and it was somewhat a little odd that he passed away the week where baseball was doing their major showcase at Ricketts Field.
Oh,
because
that's where he's from, right?
He played the Birmingham Black Barons in 1948.
Yeah.
Rick Woodfield? Did I say Ricketts Field?
Yeah.
Oh, Rick Woodfield, sorry. Yeah. Yes, in Birmingham. So a great event that Major League Baseball put on. Really fantastic event. Great tribute to the Negro Leagues and to all the great players. And it's great to see the stats have been integrated with the Negro Leagues and Major League Baseball. So good to see. Kudos to Major League Baseball for that. But now, Tom, that also, before we go to break, that brings up, now with Willie Mays no longer alive, who is the greatest baseball player right now living? So if you went through, let's go by position, okay? Catcher's pretty easy, Johnny Bench. Right? Third base is easy. It's Mike Schmidt. Shortstop, is it, do you count A-Rod as what do you count A-Rod as? If it's let's say shortstop.
Yeah.
So, but is it A-Rod or Jeter maybe? Right? Or am I missing somebody?
I'll look at you got
Ozzie Smith,
you got Cal Ripken.
Cal, right?
Yeah, there's a bunch of shortstops out there.
Shortstop's a tough one. How about second base? You got Biggio, right?
Yeah, you got Biggio.
And you got Ryan Sandberg.
Right. God, who else?
It's probably one of those two, right?
Yeah.
All right, outfield, you've got Bonds, right? You got Griffey. You got Ricky Henderson. You can't forget about Ricky Henderson, right? Right. Ricky would have an argument with that.
Yeah.
Mike Trout, who's still playing.
Yep.
Right. And then if we go closers, an easy one. That's Mariano.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And then who would you pick for the greatest living pitcher right now? You got lefty. You got Roger Clemens.
Yeah.
You got Nolan Ryan. You got Randy Johnson. You got Greg Maddux. You got Pedro Martinez.
God, they're all great choices.
Yeah, Sandy Koufax.
But how about our little guy? How about our little lefty from here that's 96 or 7 years old now?
Bobby Shantz.
Love
that guy.
I'd throw that out there.
I love that
guy.
He's
the oldest living. Yeah, and he was a great pitcher too in his own right.
Chris Ermer had first base. We didn't get to the first base. Well, would you put Pujols or Pete Rose. Right?
I got to go Pujols just for hit. I mean,
that's for the overall.
I mean, he's hit 300 and all the bombs,
right.
and RBIs and stuff, But different type of ball player.
And we
totally.
There's so many good players. We didn't even mention Cabrera and some others. So it's
the big hurt.
Hurt. Yeah.
I mean, he can mash too now.
All right.
For average too.
Tommy, coming up on the show, we'll soon hopefully have Matt Gelb coming on from The Athletic, talk about the team. You're listening to the Baseball Insider Show presented by BCWSA. We are live from the CP Rankin Club at Citizens Bank Park.
This is Tommy Greene from the 1993 National League champion Phillies. And here's the pitch. BCWSA water and sewer customers, you have a new and improved option to pay your bill that's convenient, reliable, and secure. Powered by Invoice Cloud, you can pay your bill 24/7 online, pay by text or phone, or sign up for AutoPay to avoid fees for late or missed payments. Visit bcwsa.net to sign up or for more info. That's bcwsa.net. BCWSA, proven.
Energy costs are skyrocketing. Now's the time to upgrade your old heater and air conditioning systems to more efficient units to save on your utility bills. Harris Comfort can also handle all your propane needs, as well as providing sales and service on whole house generators. Harris Comfort is still family owned and has been serving our area for over 60 years, providing sales, service, installation, and peace of mind. Call 215-788-4596 or go to harriscomfort.com. Harris Comfort, still family and still local.
Head out to Dion Square, located at South Oxford Valley and South Olds Boulevard, to get all your essentials in one place, with the following businesses ready to serve you: Pat Dion Beverages, CVS Pharmacy, Hair Cuttery, Smile Culture Dental, Biomat, Liberty Auto Tags, Pennsylvania Fine Wine and Spirits, Lee's Hoagie House, R&J Smoothies and Juices, AutoZone, and First National Bank and Trust of Newtown. Make Dion Square your one stop for all your shopping needs at South Oxford Valley Road and South Olds Boulevard in Fairless Hills.
At Penn Community Bank, we're in the business of building thriving communities. That means breaking down the barriers to home ownership, supporting fair, affordable access to housing from Philadelphia to the Lehigh Valley, like our Home Opportunity Mortgage that empowers eligible borrowers with no minimum credit score, no down payment, access to grant programs, and so much more. Visit PennCommunityBank.com/home for more details. Penn Community Bank. Here we grow. Member FDIC. Equal housing lender. Account and feature terms, restrictions, and conditions apply.
With over 7,200 square feet of 200 brewers in stock at all times, Pat Dion Beverages now features 5 different flavors of their favorite slushy cocktails. You can also purchase all your wine, liquor, and other fine spirits right next door. Visit us on Facebook or online at patdionbeverages.com for upcoming events and samples from your favorite brewery or local food vendor.
We now return to the Baseball Insider Show, presented by BCWSA. Once again, here are your hosts, Phillies Director of Fun and Games, John Brazer, and former pitcher from the 93 National League champion Phillies, Tommy Greene.
We are back to the Baseball Insider Show, presented by BCWSA. We are live from the CP Rankin Club at Citizens Bank Park. I'm John Brazer, joined by Tommy Greene. And Tommy, we got a guest today. We got Matt Gelb from The Athletic. What's up, Matt?
Yeah.
Hey, guys.
How you doing?
And he missed the show you were talking about, Riley.
The gun show and the home run
Riley
show.
Greene, right?
Riley Greene.
There's something about that name, yeah.
Tommy Greene, Riley Greene.
He got some power there.
He's missing an E, though.
Oh, well originally my name was without the E. My dad added the E. So that's what I was told when my dad passed. Why he did that, I have no idea.
Huh.
So there might be something in the blood.
I didn't know that.
There might be something in the blood.
Yeah. I didn't know that either. All right. Yeah. So, Matt, we got a bunch of things to talk about.
We do.
Let's talk about, first of all, the Phils right now are the only team in the National League to have 50 wins, right? Dodgers have 48. 50 and 26. That's amazing. I mean, did you see this coming at spring training? I mean, obviously, we made the playoffs very close to, winning the World Series 2 years ago. Ducking out last year in a bad fashion. So you knew they had a chip on their shoulder, but did you see this coming?
No, I don't think so. I mean, they've been playing at basically a 108-win pace for most of the season, and, they haven't been as good of late, but as you said, John, here they are. They still are the first to 50 wins. They still have a 7-game lead in the division. I know people have been not, thrilled with the late production or the play of late.
It's amazing, isn't it?
But I mean, look, this is a really good team, and I don't think anyone saw them being this good this fast. But I think we all knew going into the season this is a good team, and there were a lot of people who, there was no one picking them to win the division.
Right.
I understand that the Braves are the standard; they are the Braves, but I thought they were closer on paper going into the season than they've been in previous years, and we've seen that. The Phillies are the favorite now to win this division.
And one of the big reasons is the guy that just got a 4-year extension. You kind of know what you're going to get. Well, hopefully to get what you're going to get with Wheeler and Nola. I think a lot of people thought Suarez really, because the first time coming into camp without visa issues, without health issues, and he's basically been as good, if not better, than anyone expected. But I think kind of one of the keys is Sanchez, the emergence of Sanchez, and obviously they give him an extension.
No, you're right, no doubt. Where they are right now is because of the emergence of Ranger Suarez and Christopher Sanchez. They both have pitched outstanding. And Christopher Sanchez is the number 4 star in this rotation. He'd be a number 2, I think, in a lot of rotations right now. And so his camp went to the Phillies late last month or early this month and said, hey, we're kind of interested in a contract. And so, this deal, what it does is he was under club control for the next 4 years, but now he's guaranteed the money. And then also the Phillies, for guaranteeing him that money, get 2 years of club options for his first 2 free agent years. And look, if he keeps pitching the way he's pitching, it
benefits both of them.
It benefits both sides. It's a team-friendly deal, but it also guarantees Christopher Sanchez, who was in AAA about this time a year ago, it guarantees him $22.5 million, which is life-changing money for him. And so, it's been a remarkable ascent for Sanchez. It was really a year ago this month or this week where he got put back into the rotation, and I think he's got the 9th or 10th best ERA in baseball since then. It's really and he passes the eye test. It's not just numbers you say, he's been putting up these numbers. No, you watch him, and the changeup is as good as it is.
His fastball plays well up because of that changeup. It's unbelievable.
Tommy, the arm action. It's hard to tell.
I wish I had that changeup.
It's hard to tell when he doesn't slow his arm up when he's throwing the changeup, and that's why it's so good.
You look at him. The maturation process he's had to bit. Who in that rotation has he been able to see every 5th day or whatever since then? And who does he remind you of? He's just a bigger version of a little bit. His demeanor a little bit, the way he pitches a little bit. He's Ranger, and that's a good one. If he can stay cool under those situations, it's a good one to mimic, and pitch like. So
it's amazing what a little confidence does. And a lot of guys were saying that downstairs yesterday after the deal was announced. It's this guy just needed a few things to go right for him, and he just took it and ran with it.
Right.
He got confident, and we didn't. I was joking with Zach Wheeler this morning because in the press conference, Sanchez said, "My favorite pitcher in all baseball is Zach Wheeler," and Zach was like, "I didn't know that." It's just kind of funny.
It's amazing sometimes,
yeah.
Now let me ask a question: do you think the Tampa Rays will ever make a deal with us again? Because you got Alvarado came over from Tampa, and you got Sanchez came over from Tampa. Right? Wouldn't they be a little gun shy to make a trade with us anymore?
It's funny because until about a year ago now, that trade for Sanchez was looked at as very lopsided the other way.
Yeah.
The Phillies gave up a young Australian infielder named Curtis Mead, who really was not a big prospect, and then went to Tampa and became a huge prospect and is in the majors with them now. But that trade is not as lopsided as it once was. And actually, it's funny, John, because today they put Taijuan Walker on the IL, and they called up another pitcher who they traded
Michael Mercado
from the Rays last winter, and he had a great AAA year so far. So,
you look at situations like this, and we hit on it earlier in the first segment, was taking advantage of the situation, that he got last year. Talking about Christopher, he got the opportunity to come up and start, and stuck his foot in the door, and didn't let it shut. Kept making that progress and giving us a chance to win every time out. That's what happened to me when I got traded over back in the day. Is stick your foot in the door, don't let it shut. That's if anything, I tell young guys and stuff, you get the opportunities and stuff. Hey, go have fun, stick that foot in the door, have that mentality. I'm not going to let it shut. And that's what he did.
And to Sanchez's credit, they gave him some ideas, and they said, hey, you need to be stronger. You need to put on some weight. Part of the reason why he couldn't throw strikes is that he was so lanky, and he was, just limbs kind of going everywhere.
The command of his body.
Command of his body. And they said, hey, put on some weight, get stronger. And he dedicated himself to doing that.
How big is he?
So he's now, I just talked to somebody, he's now from 2 winters ago, okay, He is 26 pounds
Wow.
heavier than he was
not
2
know that.
But
winters
you
ago.
realize it because he's what? How tall?
He's tall.
He's a big. I mean, he's a tall man. I haven't ever walked up beside him, but he's got to be at least 6'5" or more.
But by putting on that weight and that strength, he is now in command of his body more, and that has helped him be in the strike zone more. He's able to repeat his delivery, and that has been the biggest thing for him.
Well, that's the key to pitching.
Yes.
That's the key to from AAA guys.
Yes.
It's not about the stuff. The stuff is there.
Yep.
The key to AAA and big league is consistency. The word consistency is it. Either you repeat or you don't.
So Matt, you mentioned obviously we had talked about Taijuan Walker going on the IR with a blister on his finger. So what have they made an announcement as far as? I mean, is it to be assumed Spencer Turnbull's going into the rotation?
Turnbull will be in the rotation. He'll pitch Wednesday, which is a little poetic because it's at Detroit, which is
awesome.
The only team that he had played for before this year, and he left with a little bit of a bitter taste in his mouth. He wasn't really happy with how it ended there. But
a little fuel for the fire.
A little fuel for him on Wednesday. But yes, Turnbull is back in the rotation. He's probably good for about 70-ish pitches the first time through, and they'll keep stretching him out. As far as Walker goes, it is a blister on his index finger, and really what is affected is he cannot throw the splitter. And that is his best pitch. And if he does not have the splitter, it's hard to start him every fifth day. And so they are going to press pause. They're going to try to get this finger better. And really, it just gives them a chance to work with him and try to just get that splitter back.
Now, you've talked with, obviously a lot of them about, the splitter. I mean, I know being the pitcher, I didn't look at splitters. I threw one, and they took it away from me when I was young because they were big on the elbows and stuff that hurt back then. I didn't try to throw splitters for strikes. You wanted it appeared to be like it was then bottom out. You wanted them to commit because it looked like a heater. You know what I mean, coming in. But I think the key to Walker is overall command. And that's if he doesn't have his command, he's in trouble.
No, and Tommy, that's the problem. I mean, the splitter right now, he's throwing it for a strike, and that's the problem.
Well, that's the hangers.
It's
They're hangers.
Correct.
Yeah.
And it's making it, and now they're just sitting on the fastball, which is 90, 91, and it's tough because if he is able to throw that splitter for chase, then all of a sudden the fastball plays a little better.
We haven't seen that's what. Yeah, it does. You can throw. Greg Maddux proved this a long time ago. You command what you do and stay out of the middle of the zone.
Sure.
But that's when he gets hurt. He starts hanging pitches and stuff like that, and it bang. That's what's happened.
And I know there's a lot of frustration from the fan base about Walker, and I understand. I mean, the contract is the contract, and the performance is the performance. It hasn't been there, but I think this is the best path for him right now is that he needs that splitter, so you give him a chance. And
how long has he been going through this?
A while. I mean, I think he's been pitching through it for a little while, and it's only affects him on the splitter. It's fine because it's on the inside of the right index finger.
Yeah.
So it's bumping up against the seam when he's trying to throw the splitter.
That's his feel. Yeah.
So a couple other things. How is obviously Sosa got hit with a pitch? How's he right now?
He's fine. Rob Thompson said he'd be available to pinch it today if needed.
And then what did you think of Schwarber being back in left field yesterday?
He joked about it. He had to wait all game to get a put out there, and he got the last one. And he said he
felt like a duck out of water. Didn't he?
He took offense to his teammates not running, letting him kind of go out alone to start the game. He's the only one who ran out. He said, "Very funny, but don't do it again." And, no, I mean, I think he expects and wants to play a little more out there. I think he knows he's not, he's the DH. He knows that, but he also says his knee is in better shape. He's in better shape. He wants to be able to give them left field days so that someone else can be the DH. And he's, we know what kind of teammate he is. And when JT Realmuto does come back later in July,
he might be DH.
He might need few more DH days early on. And Schwarber's like, look, I can play left field twice a week or three times a week if you want to give JT those DH days.
All right,
it's good to see that. It's good to see that. You look at just to hit on Schwarber's knee. If your knees are banged up as a hitter, your legs are banged up, you can't use them like you want to, that affects your hitting. It's big time.
He's hitting 250 something right now.
I know it's almost 260. Stay right where he's at.
And he's using the whole field this year.
Yes, he is. And that's, to me, he looks like he's healthier. Yes. He's moving better.
And speaking of catcher, Marchand's been a nice surprise. A short time period, but a nice surprise.
Look, the thing with Marchand has always been health. And he's had a lot of injuries the last few years that have prevented him from really, I think, becoming a backup in the big leagues. And they've always liked his defensive work, how he works with pitchers. He's poised. Doesn't seem like he's bothered by too much. And, yeah, I agree, John. He's been impressive.
I think what's been impressive about this whole first half so far has been the next man up attitude that they've had, and everybody, even when we've been hit with a couple key injuries, we thought the next man up took advantage and went out there, and we didn't miss a beat.
No doubt. You think about Sosa and Cody Clemens and David Dahl and Jose Ruiz even in the bullpen, and Spencer Turnbull, all these guys. Yeah, I mean, they've done a really good job of identifying, sort of those depth guys, those complementary players to come in and help.
Gotta have them. All
right, last question for you is: are we seeing about the run of Cassie? Cassie's been on. He's been pretty.
Leave him alone.
Pretty good the last week or so.
Leave him alone.
Right?
I mean, it's been honestly, it's been better for about a month now.
Right.
He hasn't had consistent results, but he has hit the ball harder. I mean, really beginning, I think, in early, like mid-May, started to hit the ball harder. And if you hit the ball harder, good things are going to happen. And it hasn't always happened for him. He hit a ball in Camden Yards last weekend where it was out in just about every ballpark, but it wasn't. It's like he's like, well, that's how my season's gone. And I know it's gotten better. And
he's got Liam here, so he's gonna he's on a roll.
Yeah,
right with Liam here.
Well, I mean, it looks. I mean, just by just thinking back and visualizing it, he's taking advantage of the mistakes. He's not fouling them off right now.
Yes.
Which is a huge thing because his MO is to kind of chase it. And he's took advantage of some of those mistakes that
he's made pitchers come to him more. He's made them come to him more. He's laid off. He hasn't laid off everything, but he's laying off just a little more.
He has.
Well, Matt, I really appreciate your time. I know you got to get to work with this early 11:30 game. So, Matt Gell from The Athletic, I appreciate your time.
See you
Go
guys.
Phils. All right. See you, Matt. All right. Coming up in the show, we're going to have Rob Brooks, who's going to be talking about Apple and Roku.
The man.
And also will be, since he is in charge of the broadcasters, he is in charge of herding cats. He'll talk about working with Kruk and T-Mac and Larry Anderson and Fransky and Ben Davis and Rubin and all that whole crew. You'll listen to that. You'll listen to the Baseball Insider Show presented by BCWSA. We are live from the CP Rankin Club at Citizens Bank Park.
1490 WBCB and 107.3 FM W297CL Levittown.
BCWSA customers, former Phillies pitcher Tommy Greene here. I played on the 1993 National League champs, so I know a thing or two about what it's like playing on a winning team. BCWSA has all the ingredients. They make it easy for their customers to get automatic updates by text, email, or phone anytime there is a disruption in your service area. You can even customize your alerts by going to bcwsa.net. That's bcwsa.net. BCWSA, your partner for a safer environment. BCWSA, proven.
Energy costs are skyrocketing. Now's the time to upgrade your old heater and air conditioning systems to more efficient units to save on your utility bills. Harris Comfort can also handle all your propane needs, as well as providing sales and service on whole house generators. Harris Comfort is still family owned and has been serving our area for over 60 years, providing sales, service, installation, and peace of mind. Call 215-788-4596 or go to harriscomfort.com. Harris Comfort, still family and still local.
Head out to Dion Square, located at South Oxford Valley and South Olds Boulevard, to get all your essentials in one place, with the following businesses ready to serve you: Pat Dion Beverages, CVS Pharmacy, Hair Cuttery, Smile Culture Dental, Biomat, Liberty Auto Tags, Pennsylvania Fine Wine and Spirits, Lee's Hoagie House, R&J Smoothies and Juices, AutoZone, and First National Bank and Trust of Newtown. Make Dion Square your one stop for all your shopping needs at South Oxford Valley Road and South Olds Boulevard in Fairless Hills.
At Penn Community Bank, our commitment to helping our customers and communities grow and thrive drives everything we do. Whether you are just starting out or setting new goals, we have the checking solutions that can flex to your needs at any life stage. And for a limited time, you can earn a $300 cash bonus for opening a qualifying new checking account with direct deposits in the first 60 days. Visit PennCommunityBank.com/cash bonus to learn more. Penn Community Bank, here we grow. Offer terms and conditions apply. Limited time offer subject to change. As for full details, member FDIC.
With over 7,200 square feet of 200 brewers in stock at all times, Pat Dion Beverages now features 5 different flavors of their favorite slushy cocktails. You can also purchase all your wine, liquor, and other fine spirits right next door. Visit us on Facebook or online at pattheonbeverages.com for upcoming events and samples from your favorite brewery or local food vendor.
We now return to the Baseball Insider Show, presented by BCWSA. Once again, here are your hosts, Phillies Director of Fun and Games, John Brazer, and former pitcher from the '93 National League champion Phillies, Tommy Greene.
All right, we are back to the Baseball Insider Show, presented by BCWSA, live from the CP Ranking Club at Citizens Bank Park. I'm John Brazer, joined by Tommy Greene. Soon to have Rob Brooks on, but before we do, we have Manco and Manco. Presented by our man Jason Firestone. Jason, what do we got? What we have a?
Hey, open that thing up.
Yep. It looks nice. Look at that. Very artistic
I
too.
Turn it around for these guys.
Right?
Look at that, guys.
Yes.
Not bad.
It looks like the Alfred Hitchcock.
I just gained 5 pounds just smelling it.
What was that Alfred Hitchcock movie that had like the circles that went around?
Oh no, that I can't.
Vertigo.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you, Rob. It looks like that
I'm
Vertigo
visualizing
thing.
that, and it's messing me up.
All right, so I'm assuming this is now the third year of Manco.
Third year, yes.
So I'm
correct.
assuming it's just I see everybody eating it. I'm sure it's gangbusters.
Huge success. I figured with the heat, why not talk about the Jersey Shore?
Sure.
Yeah.
Right. Sure.
So we got six locations in the ballpark now. What you're seeing in front of you is our sweet pie, so you can also order Manco right to your suite as well. So good stuff.
Well, can't wait, and I'd missed you the last 2 weeks. I was, I was hoping you were going to come over with some bangers and mash, or a little.
My wife went down
steak and ale pie.
Then my wife went down to Ocean City this past week.
Right.
Her and her girlfriends, and they ordered from the place down there, and they brought because Wendy knows them. And they brought 6 pies to her and dumped them off and said, "Here, take them." Well, they said they ate pizza all week, man. I said, man, I wish they had something for me because I miss pizza so, man.
Well, the difference here is that seagulls won't attack you at Citizens Bank Park.
Right.
They could attack you down at one of their many locations at the Jersey Shore.
Yep, absolutely.
So, yes.
I've had a few fights with them things.
Yeah. Well, Jason, I appreciate it as always.
Thank you,
really
guys.
appreciate it. Can't wait to dig in. I know Chris
Appreciate
Irmer over here is very excited. His mouth is watering.
Hey, Chris, here's a couple napkins for you, pal.
Thanks, guys.
All right, thanks, Jason. Appreciate
slobbering.
it. All right, now we're going to bring on Rob Brooks, who's manager of broadcasting. And Rob has a very interesting – I've worked with Rob for over 25 years.
He's got probably one of the toughest jobs in the business, having to deal with y'all guys and the crew upstairs.
Yes.
Unbelievable.
He is really the manager of herding cats because for those who don't know, he's in charge of all the broadcasters. So that's he is the boss of Kruk and L.A. and Fransky. And
oh, my God.
That's a very generous word.
Oh,
the boss.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah.
That's unbelievable.
If they,
I can't imagine what you go through.
Who doesn't like authority.
Right.
Can't imagine what you go through.
All right, before we get I do want to get into some stories about the broadcasters, but talk about today. Well, Friday night was an Apple game.
Friday night was Apple TV Plus.
Today is Roku.
Roku.
So just explain general what Major League Baseball is doing, and then you're going to probably, for people that have less than a half an hour for the game time, how they can find Roku.
So MLB wanted to create another opportunity on Sundays for the larger audience, the nation, to watch baseball exclusively. So they came up with this Sunday leadoff time, 11:30.
Wake up, boys.
It was Peacock before, and now it's Roku. And in some ways, Roku's a little bit easier. It's available on every smart TV. They even have a RokuChannel.com for those of you who don't want to play around with your TV. There's an iOS app. There's an Android app for Roku. So it's really easy. You don't have to sign up for anything.
Right.
You don't have to subscribe to anything. You can just go and,
that's awesome.
and watch the game.
Yeah,
it's free.
That's cool.
All right, so that's
and
today.
And it's weird because I keep getting all these emails talking about how
we watch it.
We've taken the games away from people. When I moved here, in '92, Friday nights weren't on TV. Most of the midweek getaway games weren't on TV. They were probably, we probably only did about 135 games a year on TV. Like there was never a time until '97 where every game was on TV.
Well, even somewhere like Prism, which was a subscription channel.
Yeah, we didn't have cable in West Philly until they didn't wire. I live right near Hub, and off the Penn campus. Yeah. We didn't get cable until 1992, so most of Philadelphia couldn't watch games, period, even if they wanted to back in the day.
Yeah.
Well, and this is where it's going. So it's been on Facebook Live, again, Apple, Roku. Yeah. So it's and all the sports leagues are doing this. So, all right. So again, for those trying to find today's game, you can go on.
RokuChannel.com is probably the easiest way to find it.
ROKU.
ROKU, RokuChannel.com. Or if you have an iPhone, you can download the Roku app, or Android, download the Roku app, and you watch it there. Just go. There's a home screen. You can either type in Phillies or you can type in sports, and it'll take you there. And they have a lot of other cool features, too, around baseball.
All right. Who is harder to corral, Larry Anderson or John Kruk?
See, John Kruk is probably the most natural storyteller that I've ever met. His comic timing is unparalleled.
Yeah,
like it's
Oh,
amazing.
It is.
He's always looking for an audience. And so in that regard, sometimes it's hard to corral John because he's always in the middle of a story. There's always somebody who needs 2 more minutes with him. He doesn't answer emails. You have to text him.
Yeah.
You send him an email. It's like throwing it into the ocean. Like, you don't know.
No chance.
Somebody on the other side may get the bottle. They may not.
Right.
Is it in the country that you want it? Who knows? Whereas LA is great. He's the most generous human being that I've ever met, possibly.
That's an understatement. It's unbelievable.
But when you catch him when he's not in the mood, he is not in the mood.
Yeah.
Now,
that off switch is very large on LA.
Larry.
Now, can you tell the story of the first time the Phillies played in Lehigh Valley? Lehigh Valley just became our AAA team. And we went to we had our game. Phillies played against our AAA team, which was
we've
never
flew back
done
from
before.
spring training a day early so that we could go up to Lehigh Valley and play a game at the brand new Coca-Cola Park up there.
Yeah.
And it was a big deal.
Yeah.
We used to play a lot of games, inter-squad scrimmages against our minor leaguers, but a new park, there was a lot of energy there. The weather wasn't great. It was cold. It was miserable. They had just gotten back from Clearwater, so they hadn't unpacked yet. And then they had to drive up.
It's a little cranky.
So they're a little cranky. It's wet. It's cold. Larry's using a setup that he's not familiar with, and so instead of the cough switch, there was a knob on the console. He thought it was a cough switch. He thought it was killing his microphone. What it was doing actually is killing the sound in his earphones. So at some point, Larry is a world champion belcher. Like, he can belch the alphabet.
Oh, yes, he can.
It's a skill that
You've heard it many times.
It is a skill.
It is a skill.
He's got that one.
Because he'll bark out somebody's name in a belch. Like, he's
talented.
He would be really great at a frat house.
Or on America's Got Talent.
He played on the 93 team. What are you talking about?
In the middle of the game, he's got this belch that he's got to let out. 2 outs in the inning, and so he hits the switch and lets it go.
Right.
Like, it's full on in Fransky's ears. It's full on in the audience's ears.
And LA's deaf in one ear.
And LA's deaf in one ear, and he's turned down the volume in the other ear. So he has no idea that this is going on over the air. And Fransky cannot breathe. The greatest thing that ever happened was like the guy just rolled over to second base for the last out of the inning. Because Fransky couldn't breathe. He just couldn't stop laughing. And because then we had to explain it to LA. Like, dude, you just belched on the air.
Yeah.
He's like, no, I didn't. That's your headphone volume. That does nothing. And he's like, oh, really? And like the look on his face, you could see the blood drain out of his face. Like, I did that, huh? Yeah.
Now, Rob, one of the things
That's classic.
You get credited for many things, but one thing is the Friday night roundtable, which I think is awesome. It's, after the game's Friday night, you can hear it here. You basically, instead of having like your traditional post-game show, you basically have all those guys telling stories like like you're doing right now.
Turn them loose.
And it's turning them loose, which is a little dangerous, right? But
yeah, I was just getting ready to say that could be a little. You're letting the dogs out.
We thought it could be dangerous, but at the same time, like you guys have all been in the office before the game.
Sure.
And there's a lot of guys with a great sense of humor and a lot of perspective on many different things. And like sometimes just the discussion on the game, like you sit in the office and listen to them talk about the game, and you can hear like 3 different points, and they're all right.
Yeah.
Like they all know the game better than everybody else. So we just wanted to bring some of that. Woody Allen used to say that you should strive for originality, but if you have to steal from the best. And the Giants used to do this.
Okay.
They would bring all their announcers in, and one night, so John Miller, who used to be the voice of Sunday Night Baseball.
Great storyteller.
He's fantastic pipes, but he's doing their post-game show, their version of the round table, and Tom McCarthy back then was our pre- and post-game show host. So they're doing their thing, and all of a sudden John Miller goes, "Who is that?" Like, what? who's talking like that? And it's Tom McCarthy, 2 booths over. You could hear Tom's voice carrying 2 booths over. So John Miller, somebody else was like, oh, that's Tom McCarthy. He's doing the Phillies postgame show. He's unbelievably loud. And so they hung a microphone outside of their booth for 30 seconds to carry the hair so you could hear Tom on the Giants postgame show.
That's great.
And my friend John Anderson was driving through Vegas and listening to the Giants postgame show, and he calls me up immediately. You got to hear the Giants postgame show. John Miller's got a mic out the window to listen to T-Mac.
That's great. I never heard that story. That's a good one. All right, Rob. Well, thank you for the clarification of Roku.
Yeah.
And thanks, obviously, for those stories.
But
And,
it's good to see that 3 years in, this is the first time you've seen a Manco and Manco pizza.
well,
like
I have. I was just describing it to the crowd. Come on, this is showtime, Rob. All right, and also you can hear Rob on Drexel basketball. He's the voice of Drexel basketball.
Dragons.
So.
Yes.
All right, well, Rob, I really appreciate your time.
Good to see you, brother.
Thanks, man. All right, go Phils and go Roku. All right, coming up on the show, we will get you set up for today's game, and we actually are going to give you the Smart Stat of the Week brought to you by Payroll Services, all coming up. You're listening to the Baseball Insider Show presented by BCWSA, live from the CP Ranking Club.
This is Tommy Greene from the 1993 National League champion Phillies. And here's the pitch. BCWSA water and sewer customers, you have a new and improved option to pay your bill that's convenient, reliable, and secure. Powered by Invoice Cloud, you can pay your bill 24/7 online, pay by text or phone, or sign up for AutoPay to avoid fees for late or missed payments. Visit bcwsa.net to sign up or for more info. That's bcwsa.net. BCWSA, proven.
Energy costs are skyrocketing. Now is the time to upgrade your old heater and air conditioning systems to more efficient units to save on your utility bills. Harris Comfort can also handle all your propane needs, as well as providing sales and service on whole house generators. Harris Comfort is still family owned and has been serving our area for over 60 years, providing sales, service, installation, and peace of mind. Call 215-788-4596 or go to harriscomfort.com. Harris Comfort, still family and still local.
At Penn Community Bank, we're in the business of building thriving communities. That means breaking down the barriers to home ownership, supporting fair, affordable access to housing from Philadelphia to the Lehigh Valley, like our Home Opportunity Mortgage that empowers eligible borrowers with no minimum credit score, no down payment, access to grant programs, and so much more. Visit PennCommunityBank.com/home for more details. Penn Community Bank. Here we grow. Member FDIC. Equal housing lender. Account and feature terms, restrictions, and conditions apply.
With over 7,200 square feet of 200 brewers in stock at all times, Pat Dion Beverages now features 5 different flavors of their favorite slushy cocktails. You can also purchase all your wine, liquor, and other fine spirits right next door. Visit us on Facebook or online at patdionbeverages.com for upcoming events and samples from your favorite brewery or local food vendor.
Head out to Dion Square, located at South Oxford Valley and South Olds Boulevard, to get all your essentials in one place, with the following businesses ready to serve you: Pat Dion Beverages, CVS Pharmacy, Hair Cuttery, Smile Culture Dental, Biomat, Liberty Auto Tags, Pennsylvania Fine Wine and Spirits, Lee's Hoagie House, R&J Smoothies and Juices, AutoZone, and First National Bank and Trust of Newtown. Make Dion Square your one stop for all your shopping needs at South Oxford Valley Road and South Olds Boulevard in Fairless Hills.
We now return to the Baseball Insider Show, presented by BCWSA. Once again, here are your hosts, Phillies Director of Fun and Games, John Brazer, and former pitcher from the 93 National League champion Phillies, Tommy Greene.
All right, we are back to the Baseball Insider Show, presented by BCWSA, live from the CP Ranking Club. I'm John Brazer, joined by my co-host Tommy Greene. And Tommy, consider a career at Septa. Septa relies on and needs bus operators, train engineers, and conductors. As a Septa employee, you'll earn competitive compensation, great benefits, including medical, dental, prescription, and a pension. Visit jobs.septa.org to apply today. That's jobs.septa.org. And Tommy, it is time now for the Smart Stat of the Week, brought to you by Payroll Service Solutions. Call them today at 1-866-PAY-EASY. That's 1-866-PAY-EASY. Pay easy. We've got a lot of different stats here for you, Tommy. Ready?
Well, there's a bunch of stats you could go with.
The Fightin' Phils earned their 50th win of the season, and it is the 4th time in franchise history the club has reached 50 wins in their first 76 games, and the first time since you and the 93 Phillies team reached 50 wins in their 71st game of the season. They joined the New York Yankees as the only other team with 50 wins as of yesterday. Also, yesterday we scored 10 runs for the 6th time this season, the first since May 15th. They've won every game that they scored 10 runs, which you would think.
They should.
The temperature of yesterday's game was 97 degrees. It's the 7th time in the history of Citizens Bank Park that the temperature has been 97 degrees or hotter, which yesterday was just cooking.
The only good thing about that, about being here at Citizens Bank Park, that you're not at the old vet playing on that old turf.
Yep, exactly right. That was worse.
Bringing it.
Zach Wheeler pitched 7 innings yesterday while allowing 1 run or no runs for the 5th time this season, which is now tied for the most in the major leagues this season, which is pretty. And it's the first time this year he's gone 7 innings while issuing no walks, and his first start without walking a batter since opening day. And he extended his home winning streak to 6 games. That's getting it done. And for all
he got back on track yesterday a little bit.
For all those people that say we haven't been playing good teams, well, their first 74 games, we had 37 games versus teams with winning records, and 37 versus teams with 500 or below, right?
Yeah.
For teams, the 37 games we played against teams with winning records when we played them, we went 25-12. And for the teams that were below 500, we went 24-13. So you know what?
I've got some very good words for those people.
Yeah.
I can't say on air.
Yes, all right. Cole Hamels here. I'm just going to whip off a lot of stats here. Cole Hamels retired. We had a great retirement ceremony with him, with Chooch and Jamie Moyer, Joe Blanton.
What a great career he had here, man.
Roy Oswalt. Just fun to see everybody.
Yeah.
But he's really one of the best pitchers ever put on Phillies uniform.
Yes, he is.
He pitched 10 years, 3.30 ERA, 294 starts. He had 14 complete games. He had 1,844 strikeouts, a 124 ERA plus, 4-time All-Star, MVP of the World Series 2008, and National League Championship Series MVP. That is getting it done, Tommy.
Yeah, he had a great career. It was a pleasure watching him pitch. You know, I mean, not in person, but watching him pitch is because he was a pitcher. Sort of reminds me a little bit about Sanchez a little bit. Yeah, he's got a little bit of that in him a little bit. You know.
All right, this is on Wednesday, so I don't know if it's changed a little bit, but right now Kyle Schwarber is the all-time Phillies leader in at-bats and home runs. So home runs per at-bat.
Yeah.
So with a 13.1. So every 13.1 at-bats, he hits a home run. Jim Thome, 13.3. Ryan Howard, 14.9. Mike Schmidt, 15.2.
That's impressive.
That's very impressive. All right, here's going away.
And he's hot, too. This is June.
Right.
I like
going
it.
away from baseball, but this is insane right here. Ready? Joe Theismann and Alex Smith, okay?
Yeah.
They both had a broken right tibia and fibula, right? They both did it on November 18th. How about that? They both did it for the same team. They did it in the same location, obviously D.C. They both did it on the 39-yard line.
Wow.
The final score of the games were 23-21, and it was caused by – Theismann was caused by 3-time Defensive Player of the Year Lawrence Taylor.
Yeah.
And Alex Smith was caused by 3-time Defensive Player of the Year J.J. Watt. And the left tackle, Joe Jacoby, for the Theismann, left the field due to injury. And Alex Smith, the left tackle, Trent Williams, All-Pro, went to off the field due to injury. Like, that's crazy.
That's crazy.
Right?
That is crazy.
That's just – that's.
And it's like Chris Irmer said, where did that stat come from? What made you think of that one?
I was on my England trip, and again, we went to London. Was awesome. We did a lot
too
of
much
fun
time
things.
on your hand, right?
And then I did a lot of traveling. I flew over to Cornwall, which is on the west coast.
Yeah.
Went to Bath. Went to Stonehenge. Went to King Arthur's Castle, if King Arthur's a real person.
Yeah.
Did a lot of fun things. So yes, I had a lot of time on my hands looking up stats.
Well, that's impressive right there.
I mean, that really is impressive, right? How about this one? Alec Boehm, in 54 games with Brandon Marsh this season, he's hitting .330 with a .385 on-base percentage, .502 slugging percentage, .888 OPS. In 16 games without Brandon Marsh, he's hitting .239 with a .278 on-base percentage, .448, and a .726. So
it's a good luck charm.
Yeah, right? And
we got to keep him in the lineup.
And he has 9 ground into double plays across the 70 games, and 5 of those are in those 16 games without Marsh. So obviously, no Marsh makes a sad boom.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So
makes a quiet boom.
Is a quiet, yeah. All right. Here is your lineup for today. For the Diamondbacks, a slightly different lineup. You've got Marte leading off, playing second base. Alexander playing third base. Gurriel playing left field. I thought he was hurt, but I guess he's back. Walker, cleanup first baseman, local kid.
Yep.
Grichuk playing right field. Jake McCarthy, UVA alum, playing center field. Suarez, who had big power with the Reds, hitting 195, 6 home runs. Newman, shortstop, Herrera catching. So against Sanchez, Marte's 2 for 3. And the other guys, there's really no, Gurriel's 0 for 1, Walker's 0 for 2, Grichuk's 0 for 2. Yeah. So not a whole lot. The Fightin' Phils lineup, Kyle Schwarber is DHing, leading off. Trey Turner is batting second. Harper batting third. Bohm batting fourth. Castellanos batting fifth. Stott batting sixth. Marsh batting seventh, playing center field. Dahl playing left field, batting eighth, and Stubbs is catching.
I like that lineup.
I do too. And Ciccone is we're facing Ciccone, and really only Marsh and Schwarber have at bats against him. So it'll be interesting to see. Again, Ciccone is a right-handed pitcher. He's 2-5 with a 5.90 ERA. So Slade Ciccone.
Wow, so I'm picking the click a little bit. I'm gonna root a guy on today who needs to get hot a little bit. I'm rooting Stott on.
Well,
he's gonna come up in some situations. I think he's gonna get a big hit.
This could be. I tell you what, he's had 8 starts, and several starts. His home starts, he got rocked by the Angels. 2 home runs, gave up 7 earned runs.
Yeah.
Against Cincinnati at home, he got rocked for 6 runs. San Diego, he got rocked for 6 runs. Now he's had some good outings over there. He got rocked by 6 runs to the Dodgers. But then he sprinkled in a couple of good outings, including his last one against the Nationals, where he went 6 innings, 3 hits, 0 runs. So Slade Ciccone. So all right, Tommy, what's your prediction so far? So today,
after last night's game, I'm predicting they're going to keep that train rolling a little bit. Got the good vibes. They need to get back on that train, going down the track a little bit. So, score 12 runs. You're asking a whole lot, but they did a lot of positive things yesterday, swinging the bat and playing the game. They pitched well. They hit well.
Yep. So. And obviously we've got, did I even say who's on the mound for us?
Sanchez.
So we talked about him a lot today. Again, he's 4-3, 2.91 ERA, 1.36 WHIP. And, Sanchez has been one of the more consistent pitchers that we've had.
Yeah.
Right? And his last outing out, he had a great outing against the Padres.
Yeah.
He went 7 innings pitched, 6 hits, 2 runs, 1 of them earned. Yeah. He only walked 1 guy, struck out 5.
The only hiccup was in Boston a little bit. So.
Yeah, he got Boston a little bit, but other than that, he went. Before that, Milwaukee was 6-1. Yeah. San Francisco 6-0. Colorado 5 1/3 and 1 earned run. Washington 7 innings pitched, 2 earned runs. Mets 5 2/3, 3 runs. Toronto 7 innings pitched, 1 earned run. Angels had a little bit, 5 innings pitched, 4 earned runs, but then he bounced back.
Yeah.
So he's been, again, one of our more consistent pitchers. So
you can't. You're going to have to battle through certain parts of the season a little bit, and it's all about maintaining, keeping your team close enough to give them a chance to win the game.
Yep.
So what if you give up a few runs?
Well, hopefully we can take the momentum of yesterday, because when you look at yesterday, we had 14 hits.
Yeah.
Right?
Very
and we
impressive.
Had 4 home runs. Now a couple of them or one of them was off the catcher, but for the most part, it's been pretty impressive. So. And Tommy, that wraps up today's Baseball Insider Show, presented by BCWSA, live from the CP Rankin Club. Thanks to my co-host Tommy Greene, our on-site engineer Chris Hermer, back in the studio, Stephen Lawler. Thanks also to our guests today, Matt Gelb, Rob Brooks, Jason Firestone. We're going to be back next Sunday at the normal time from 12:30 to 1:30 before the Phillies take on the Miami Marlins. Until then, have a great night. And as the late, great Harry the K says,
we're out of here.
Phillies baseball on 1490 WBCB and 107.3 FM.